Welcome back. Before the break, the I-Team showed us the toll reckless driving has taken on our city.
Now the hunt for solutions to solve a problem that's continued to get worse. That's where Sean Gallagher continues the story.
How do you fix reckless driving? It's a pretty complicated question, but one place you can start: the roads. Thousands of people skip the interstate and take roads like Fond du Lac, Appleton, Capitol, and 27th Street to get home every day.
I think some people forget the fact that they're not on a highway.
Milwaukee Police Captain Jeffrey Sun tells us drivers can do a lot more damage on roads with speed limits under 55. He's the head of the Traffic Safety Unit, created this year to address reckless driving. When drivers take the local route but speed like it's the highway, it can have lethal effects.
When you have speed and you have these cross intersections, that's when you have a majority of these accidents.
Gerald Wellinger and Devontae Gaines were killed at the intersection of 60th and Hampton when two cars going 120 miles per hour crashed into them, according to a criminal complaint.
Right here is my son, 22 years old. This is all I have left of my son.
The speed limit in that area, 30 miles an hour.
They took two very, very special people away from us. And you have to be punished.
The Milwaukee Police Department reportedly wrote 3,300 tickets for speeding 25 miles an hour or more over the speed limit before the end of September. That's more than the number of 25 and over tickets they wrote in all of 2019 and 2020 combined. Pleasant Prairie Judge Dick GINKOWSKI says it may not be the citations that are the issue, but the penalties.
We don't have a lot of tools. If we did, we would use them.
The judge compared it to drunk driving penalties. For a first-time OWI in this state, sometimes criticized as the lightest drunk driving penalty in the country, the fine is $300. But if you're caught recklessly driving, the max fine in Wisconsin is $200.
With a drunk driving case, you require an alcohol assessment and they must follow any recommended treatment. Our options for speeding, we don't have options like that. Basically all we can do is fine them and take away a driver's license.
Speeding tickets are issued differently here in Wisconsin. If you're caught on the interstate going 25 miles an hour or more, you'll lose your license for 15 days. But if you get stopped in a residential neighborhood doing 25 or more, you could just pay a fine and drive away. GINKOWSKI says legislating tougher penalties could help deter reckless behavior on the roads. He and others all say enforcement is not the only issue.
I think it does need to be something that's addressed legislatively, but that's only one piece of it.
State Representative Supreme Moro Mukunde sits on the Assembly Transportation Committee. He says addressing things like mental health gaps can curb reckless behavior, and a better public transportation infrastructure would more effectively transport people.
The long-term solution is we need to make sure that we're getting as many cars off the roads as possible.
The city has proposed using $6 million in federal funds to physically change the roads to make it harder to weave in and out of traffic. But those are long-term solutions. Those affected by reckless driving are pushing for change right now.
If we had stiffer laws before this accident happened, this accident might have never happened, because these guys maybe would have thought, well, hey, ooh, I don't want to risk it.
She was part of an 1,100 signature petition for stronger laws in Wisconsin, dropping it off at the courthouse about a month after she lost her son.
Bottom line, it's the consequences. There has to be higher consequences, because, you can fly right over a speed bump.
2 men have been charged in connection to the crash that killed Julie Wellinger's son and his friend. James Malone has been charged with 2 counts of reckless homicide, and James Hinton has been charged with reckless injury. Reporting for the I-Team, I'm Sean Gallagher.
Meanwhile, the mayor of West Allis is looking to increase the punishment for dangerous drivers. In his proposed